Hey everyone, welcome to Live Trading Thursday. My name is David Verbruken. Got another Thursday here. We're going to be looking at the live market all together. So guys, you know how this works. Go ahead and get your tickers in, get your questions in. Any trades that you are considering, trades that you are maybe in right now, even historical trades. Go ahead and get those in. We can take a look at those in the next 15-20 minutes here. Guys, keep in mind that all the examples in this live trading session should be viewed for educational purposes only and not taken as trading or investment advice. Guys, so when I say get it in those comments here, interesting thing, I see Lisa already has some questions and comments in there. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know that you could put that in there before we started the thing. So Lisa is on the ball. We're definitely going to be getting to those questions first. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to cover. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this because Lisa's first question, I just want to go ahead and hit this one right now. Lisa's asking, how do you think SPY will do for the rest of July and August? Any thoughts on September even? So, the SPY, take a look at this real quick, right? Not that. I'm pushing the wrong buttons. Here we go. So this is the S&P, right? This is the S&P. .SPX is the symbol in Charts by Tradeway. And now if we look at the SPY, see how the chart barely changed, if any, right? So the SPY, if you don't know, it is the ETF that follows the S&P. So when you ask Lisa, what do I think the SPY will do? Here's exactly what it'll do. It'll do exactly what the S&P does, right? Now, of course, that's a cop-out of an answer. But the reality is, Lisa, that I do not know exactly what the SPY or what the S&P or the SPY are going to do, right? All I can look at and see is that, hey, we have been bullish in the short term. The overall market has been very bullish here. Therefore, I want to make sure in my trading that I'm bullish. And when the market turns around and goes bearish, and I don't know when that is, it'll happen again at some point. But when that is, I'll probably get stopped out of a few trades. I'll have to reassess, look at the market. Okay, things have turned around. And then I'll need to adjust my trading to match the market. And there may be a period of time there, kind of a squirrel market, if you will, where the market is really not super predictable. Maybe, okay, it's broken our uptrend and it hasn't established a downtrend yet. It's just kind of all over the place. And maybe that means, Lisa, that I need to take maybe even a few weeks of a break from trading. That's hard to do as a trader, right? Because that requires an immense amount of patience. But there's a saying out there that profits are made in the patience. So I may even need to take a break and wait for a new pattern to develop. Right. So Lisa, I love that you asked this question because it really is a great question that brings up so many things we could talk for hours about. The difference between, not necessarily trying to predict what the market's going to do, but letting it do what it's going to do and us just getting in line. Right. We have another saying that you want to dance with the gorilla or dance with the elephant. And when you're dancing with the gorilla or the elephant, you let that animal lead. Right? When we are trading with the market, we're going to let the market lead. We're not going to tell it what to do. We're not going to try and attempt to predict what it's going to do. Now, I can always look at the market and let's look at a big picture here. So I'm looking at a 3-year weekly chart right now. Every candlestick is a week long, and I'm looking at 3 years worth of time. I could say, okay, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if eventually we make it back up to these highs of about 4,800. Right? That would not surprise me if we run up there and then fall down again. I'd be a little more surprised if we run up there and break it and just keep, running up. But so I can say that, but I'm not sitting here trying to predict what it's going to do, right? So anyway, that's maybe a longer answer than you were wanting, but I really want to give you as accurate of an answer as I can. As a trader, I'm not worried about what the market's going to do for the rest of July, for August, for September. As a trader, I'm worried about what has it been doing and am I in line, right? So That's kind of the answer there. And it kind of, you guys know, we always start off by looking at the whole market. But since the SPY or SPX here is the whole market, is kind of doing what it kind of gives us an overview of what the whole market's doing. It definitely is a good one to start off with and to lead with. So at this time, as things have been bullish, we want to be looking primarily for bullish charts. I had actually been keeping an eye on some nice bearish charts, some pretty patterns to the downside. And many of those started to fail or, started to break to the upside. So there you have it. All right, Lisa's next question. What do you think about a put on Apple if I get out in less than 2 weeks? Let's take a look at Apple. AAPL. Looking at Apple here. Okay, guys, I got way too many lines going on here. And the reason why is because I was teaching a class on drawing lines. And so we just kept drawing more and more lines on Apple here. So let me, oh my goodness, I should have gotten rid of some of these lines beforehand. I'm not going to take up our time with that right now. Apple has such a nice pattern here. If there's ever a pattern that you don't necessarily need lines on, this is it, right? And I'm also going to get rid. We got this paper trading account going here, and I don't know if it was in this webinar or another webinar, but we put on some positions. But let me turn that off. If you ever want to turn off the position orders lines, save that. There we go. Okay, finally, here we go. Apple. So Lisa, you're asking, what about a put on Apple if you're out within 2 weeks? I'm going to guess you're saying 2 weeks because you see that we have earnings. August 3rd, AMC after market close. So that's about that's 2 weeks of the day, I think. Yeah, August 3rd, 2 weeks of the day. So I'm glad you're looking at that. But then my next big question is, what is the pattern that you're seeing? And it is very obvious here that this is an uptrend, right? And so then my question would be, why are you wanting to trade a put on Apple that is in a really nice uptrend? This really has been just beautiful. The 20-day EMA bounces are just incredible there. Even to the point, and I've done this before, I'll show it again real quick. Let's just hide the candlesticks for a second. Oh, wait, that's not where I go for that. Let me do it in it right here. Okay, just look at the EMAs. See how the 5-day just comes down and touches the 10-day, beautifully just kisses it and then bounces up. Then it got a little hotter here, but then lately another kiss of the 10-day and then move up. See how beautiful that EMA action is? You don't get that unless your price action is super consistent. It takes super consistent price action to get that. So this is one of the prettiest uptrending, bullish charts that you can find. It'd be honestly textbook worthy, right? So I definitely wouldn't want to be trading a put on Apple, right? And that's not to slam your question or to slam. I'm just giving you the advice that I can give, right? I definitely would not be trading a put on Apple. Now you might be thinking, well, it does pull back a little bit, and you'd be right. There's a pullback there, pullback there, pullback there. We've run up, or we maybe yesterday had a big wick, and then today's down a little bit. A little pullback maybe. It could. It absolutely could. But do I want to trade counter trend? If you buy a put on Apple right now, and it moves down to, let's say, the 20-day, down to about $191 or so. So it moves down 1.5% on the stock. You're not going to make as much money as you think you are on the put. You're just not. You'd be lucky if you squeeze out 15% gain, right? I want a better edge. If I'm trading a put, I want a better edge than to be lucky to make 15%. So anyways, great example here. What would I do with Apple though? Well, maybe at this point, wait for earnings. Wait for earnings to go by and then see what the pattern is. If the pattern is still pretty to the upside, maybe trade some calls. Maybe trade some, bull puts, some bull calls, almost any bullish trade at that point. If that pattern holds as beautiful as it does, that would be pretty nice. All right, great. Thanks for getting us started off, Lisa. Guys, Lisa just let you know you can start piling in questions and tickers and everything before we even start this. So that's pretty cool. What a way to get started here. All right, Joseph wants to know my view on Walmart and a chip maker besides NVIDIA. Okay. You might have to look up real quick, maybe a specific chip maker besides NVIDIA that you want. But let's just start off with Walmart here. So Walmart has been in this, kind of an uptrend here as well. Lately has gone sideways. Kind of see, I don't know if I'd call that the start of a head and shoulders. That wouldn't be a typical head and shoulders right there, but kind of an interesting price action as it's gone sideways for the last few weeks. Big move up today. Yeah, definitely big move up today. So we'll kind of have to see. But, let's zoom out to 1 year. Yeah, I mean, lately here, we've got this uptrend that is looking here. If it goes ahead and bounces off of this line at some point, I'd be pretty interested, right? But we're not there yet. Let me extend that line. Perfect. So, yeah, this to me, it's just kind of wait and see. Based off the lines that I have right here, I wouldn't do too much with it. I can extend this line too. This is a good line. Now, maybe you're not seeing that uptrend, and maybe you're just seeing this line right there. That was some resistance. That is some support. And you get a nice pop up. Well, that's already moved up quite a bit, Then my question is, how far are you going to go? Because if we're looking at this as, okay, that's a nice bounce up off support, well, then where's your resistance? Because on the shorter term, I can also put a resistance line right there. Let's do that. Let's draw a resistance line right there. And if I draw that line there, where are we in the channel? We're maybe 60% of the way up, right? So we've already missed that buy point. And frankly, if you were to look at this and say, hey, where's the buy point? It could have been this day, could have been that day. But, it kind of just sat on support for a while and didn't pop up until today. So not necessarily the greatest, prettiest, easiest trend or pattern to trade, but it is what it is. So in the shorter term, this is what we're seeing. In the longer term, we've got this uptrending support or just uptrend going on here. So there you have it, Joseph. Yeah, okay, next one we're going to look at, because you want to look at a chip maker besides NVIDIA, Intel. INTC is the correct code. So let's pull Intel up, see what we can find. Intel, all right. I've got several lines going here. Let's just get rid of some of these older guys that don't belong anymore. And let's get a bit of a zoomed out picture. Let's go even further out. Intel got hammered for a while, right? A lot of things did last year. 2022 was rough, especially for anything tech related. It was pretty rough, right? So Intel came down significantly, rolled for a little bit, and now big picture starting to make a higher high, higher low, higher high once again, higher low. Could we be uptrending? Let's see if we can get an uptrending support line going here. Oops, there we go. Let's try this. Somewhere in there, that may not be perfect. You might have to play with that line a little bit. I would call this an anomaly then in that case. But somewhere in there is, I think it could be pretty close. Not the prettiest pattern. Let's also duplicate this line, right? I can clone it. Oh, it didn't clone for some reason. That's okay. Let's just redraw here. I'll look into that later. So we can maybe right about here. Oh, okay, hold on. Sometimes when I draw a lot of lines or make a lot of line changes, I got to refresh. I bet it'll work now. Yep, there it is. Okay, now the clone works. So if it ever doesn't do that, guys, because you guys saw that, right? I couldn't get the line to draw. It's a browser-based platform, and when there's a lot of data going through the browser, sometimes we just need to click and refresh. That kind of clears out the old stuff, bring in some new information, and there we go. So cool thing about this is look at this, right? So I wasn't sure, is that line really where it should be? I cloned it and brought it up to resistance, and actually runs beautifully on resistance. That kind of helps me um, kind of validate that I put my support line where it should be, right? At least the angle is correct. So this is what we're looking at now. So now, okay, where are we? Well, actually, we're a couple days out from earnings, so definitely not going to do anything before then. But how cool would it be if after earnings it comes back down to this uptrending support line, produces a bounce, maybe off the 50-day. 50 days pretty close to support there too, and then we could get into a trade, right? Imagine being in a call option on, you get in here about $31 a share, and you ride it for a couple weeks, and you sell at about $36 a share. That would be a nice move, right? That'd be a nice move. You could make maybe close to 100% ROI on that step 2 call option. It'd be pretty close there. So yeah. Joseph says strange volume for increased pop. You might be talking about Walmart for that pop right there. Yeah, volume is still low right now, but we're still early on in the day, right? It could very well be that this volume extends beyond this average 30-day line that I have in blue here, right? So I think that's what you were referring to there. All right. All right, guys, that's great. I'm glad you guys brought those forward. Those are good to talk about. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter one today, but that's okay. We're going to wrap this one up. Talked about this last week, but want to bring it to your attention again. Guys, we have next week, we have the Trading Jumpstart Challenge. All right, if you're new to trading, or if you have taken a solid break from trading and want to get back into it and just want to be able to get your footing again and jumpstart with some coaches in the live market, guys, next week, that Jumpstart Challenge is for you, right? Email events@tradeway.com. You can get all the information you need. Pricing, I know it's a very low price compared to the value that you would receive. And every day it's going to be about 2 to 3 hours. And if you can't make a certain day, maybe you're at work at that time, they will be recorded. So you will be able to view the recordings. So I highly encourage you, if you're interested, just email events@tradeway.com, get some more information. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. We're going to have someone filling in for me for the next 2 weeks because I'm actually going to be out of the country and outside of Wi-Fi range most of the time. So the next 2 weeks I'll be gone, but someone else will be filling in. And then I'll be back with you guys, what is that, August 10th, 3 weeks from now. So see you guys then. Talk to you later. Bye.